can feel it. I see the visualization, like I'm going through visualization right now. I feel it, I feel it, I feel it. Here we go. I'm going to start with the number 4 guy on this list, Russell Wilson. Let's move him up to 1. Russell Wilson, I got your back, bruh. I'm going to finally be the one to do it. Everybody keeps talking about, oh, Russell Wilson's underrated. Russell Wilson's underrated. Let me tell you something. There ain't no qualifiers here because this is my list. And I'm telling you right now, if Russell Wilson had an offensive-minded coach, if he had an offensive guru, offensive coordinator, if he had, you know, what he needed over the last 10 years, this dude would be number 1 and it wouldn't even be close. He's the winningest quarterback through 9 years in NFL history. Think about that. This is a guy that's done nothing but get it done. This is a guy, when a game is on the line, Pete Carroll says, oh, Russell Wilson, take the ball. Take the ball, go get it done for us. This dude is unstoppable. They should run the 2-minute drill the entire game. Don't wait to end the second quarter and going into the locker room and say, okay, here, Russell Wilson, go get us some points. Don't wait to the end of the game and say, okay, Russell Wilson, we're down 3, we're down 6, we need you to go get it done. No, you give that guy the ball right now. You let Russell Wilson cook, and I'm going to be standing here. The arrows are going to come. Patrick Mahomes, he is the baby goat. Patrick. Yeah, I understand Patrick Mahomes is good doing the no-look passes and all of that. And I know I'm ranting right now, and I can go on and on and on for another 5 minutes. But I'm going to stop, and I'm going to pass it to my buddy, Nick James Wright. And you know it's right, Nick. Yeah. You know if Russell Wilson had Andy Reid, if Russell Wilson had an offensive-minded guy on that side, things would be different. Sorry, guys, I got kind of a little excited.
No, let's go.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
I had to make sure we were still on air. I was like, are we on here?
A lot of ifs there, a lot of qualifiers, a lot of, speculation and hypotheticals. I also have an issue with this list. I have a massive issue with this list. And I almost, for too many ways to count, I'll go as quickly as I can through it. I agree with you, there's a massive issue at number 1. The issue is, and we can lead Brandon up, 36% of the execs, coaches, scouts, and players polled in this did not have Patrick Mahomes number 1. The hell are you doing? This is unanimous. He's number 1. Everyone knows he's number 1. Brandon evidently is part of the executives, coaches, scouts, and players that didn't have him number 1. But Mahomes and Brandon, some people had him ranked 3rd, which is offensive. Now, but I don't want to really argue Russ versus Mahomes because there is better things to argue about here. Can we show that top 10 again? Because I agree with you, by the way, having Russ behind Brady is an absurdity. Like, Russ at worst should be 3rd.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, I get it, but having him behind Brady's ridiculous. Also, anybody else feel like Matt Stafford? Like, whoa. Listen, I like the Rams this year like a lot of people do. But that feels a little ambitious. A guy who, while his favorite stat is quarterback wins, he's 39-48 over the last 5 years. And it's like, oh, no. It's all the Lions' fault. Okay, that's fine.
And he had
but they
Megatron.
Were 5-11 last year.
Megatron.
He had Megatron earlier. And Stafford, Stafford's already better than Dak and Lamar. Okay, that's interesting. I'm not sure about that. But my other issue is at number 10. And I don't want to box Wilds out, but I have to throw this back to Brandon just quickly. What is the argument that Kyler's better than Baker? Someone tell me.
Oh, my goodness.
Someone tell me.
Oh, my goodness.
What is the argument that Kyler deserves that spot, not Baker? Someone tell me. I'm just curious. I'd like to know it. I'd like to know it.
Baker Mayfield put in the box. Hey, don't mess up the game. Kyler Murray taken out of the box and they gave him the ball and say, hey, go win the game for us. That is the difference. That as simple as that, Nick.
You're right, but he didn't win the games for him. He didn't. They missed the playoffs. They had DeAndre Hopkins.
This dude, you see the run?
Larry Fitzgerald.
Halfway through the year, we were talking about if he finished the year on this streak, he could potentially be MVP. He started creeping up into the MVP race,
they fell
Nick.
apart. And Baker ascended and won.
We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Pretty wild. Go ahead.
I'll try to bridge the divide here because I will not stand for any Kyler Murray slander on this show. You check your contract, Nick. I slid it in there as an addendum. You talk to your agent. I got a back door in there. So here's the reason. In this article that Jeremy Fowler did an excellent job, there's a little bit of like a poison pill in here that I want to read to you, Nick, that I think will answer your question and will allow you to be a Kyler fan, which I know you are in your heart, without having to disparage him to move Baker up. Here it is. This is from, I think it's from an anonymous exec or scout. He's very talented. Some of the issues are outside of him. I don't think the Cardinals' style of play is conducive to winning big games late in the season. Nick, you were early on the fact that the Cardinals might be looking at a coaching change sooner than later. It feels like you're not the only one that disagrees with this. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. Kingsbury's not a good coach, and I do like Kyler. I just think I think the fact that Baker, it's like, okay, what's Baker's career? Well, he set rookie passing records his first year. His second year, he had the most unqualified head coach in NFL history. His third year, in a brutally difficult division, he leads the Browns to the playoffs, wins a playoff game, almost wins a second playoff game in Arrowhead, and he does it all without his number one receiver for the vast majority of the year. And I think in the final half of the season, through 2 total interceptions, I just feel like, oh, yeah, and he was the number 1 overall pick.
Right.
I feel like he would be getting some of the love that, like, how is that not one of the 10 best quarterbacks in football? So it's not so much about Kyler. It's that Kyler's 10th and Baker should be in the top 10. If they want to slide everybody up, to be honest with you, and just remove Stafford altogether until we see it from Stafford, I'm fine with that. But I think Baker's got to be in the top 10, Brandon. I just do. I just don't see how he's not.
Oh, my goodness. Hush your mouth. Hush your mouth. Come on, no. Then I'm not responding to that. He knows Baker Mayfield's in a box right now. Until Baker's out of the box,
here's something.
It. Go ahead.
I'm going to agree with you, Brandon, but you know what? Let's just move on to wide receivers because I feel like this where you might have even more passion. So Jalen Ramsey ranked his top 3 wideouts at the position. Here's who he had. He had DeAndre Hopkins at 1, Odell at 2, and he had new Tennessee Titan, Julio Jones, it's weird saying that, at 3. Brandon, you think Jalen got this list right? So you got Nuke at 1. Ooh.